to my channel, Astrofluentkulture. My name is Chi-Chi, and I'm an intuitive psychic medium. And I've been doing private readings for some time now, but Spirit has been guiding me to actually start doing pick-a-cards. So here I am. And so the actual pick-a-card that I decided to do, that I was guided to do, was Past Life, the Akashic Records. So if you don't know what the Akashic Records actually is, it is a book of life, and basically it holds all your past lives, every thought that you've had, everything that has happened in all your past lives. It's all stored in your own book of life, which is stored in your soul chakra, which is the chakra above your crown chakra. And in this reading, it's going to talk about what happened in your past life. We're going to be asking how it's affecting this life, suggestions and advice from Spirit, and then final messages. And now, before you pick your pile, quick disclaimer: this reading is a general reading, so keep an open mind, but only take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Now, if you'd like to, go ahead and pause the video if you'd like to meditate. I'll tell you what I do when I do these pick-a-cards. I always close my eyes and I take 3 deep breaths in through my nose, out through my mouth. And then I ask my spirit guides to connect me to my higher self. And I ask my higher self to connect me to Spirit. And I'll do that with my eyes closed. And after I do my 3 deep breaths and I ask my higher self to connect me to Spirit, I'll ask Spirit, what is the pile for me? And then I'll open my eyes, and whichever one is the one that I'm drawn to will be the one that has my message. So just keep in mind that if you do choose more than one pile, or you feel drawn to more than one pile, then that just means that you have more messages for you in another pile. So I'll see you guys at your reading. Bye. Hey, pile 1. So you guys chose family. So let's see. So I'm seeing you. In this life, you were like a white witch. Like very into nature, herbs. You're probably into that type of stuff now. You're probably in this life a practicing witch, or you practice the law of attraction a lot. And I see a male. Oh, you guys were in love. Oh, and it was that good love. That deep love. And I see him like massaging you. Just, oh my goodness. Just overpouring with so much love. True love. So I do see he actually like bumped into you. It looks like he was running away from something. Very electric. Yeah, he was running away from... It feels like in the 1800s, possibly. I see like... He was definitely running from something and like stumbled on you. You were like, you were very connected to nature. Like, you just loved being out in nature all the time. But he stumbled onto you, and he looks like he was hurt. So you actually started taking care of him. Oh, okay. And he was yeah, he was running. He was actually part of the royal army, it looks like. Yeah. And you were psychic. You know, you were a white witch, like you had a lot of ability. So when you stumbled on him, it was like he kind of told you like a little fib, but I don't even want to say like a little fib, but it was like he didn't tell you the whole truth of what was the reason that he was running and hiding. But because you had those gifts, you actually were able to heal him, and not only heal him, but you didn't even have to really, like, even though you knew, even though you didn't know, like he didn't tell you the whole story, you knew because you tapped in. So you're in this lifetime, if you haven't gotten your psychic gifts, you definitely have a lot of intuition, like a very powerful intuition. Because in that life, not only did you feel things, but you had a gift that you could touch people, and like visions were given to you. So it seems like when you were healing him, you got a lot of visions of what he was going through, and you saw that what he was actually doing was noble. He was part of the royal family, but or not the royal family, excuse me, but he was actually part of the royal army, and they were very greedy. The royal family, like, they were sending like the soldiers to break into people's homes or bust down the door and take the little bit of things that they had. And he just got tired of it, and he left, and they went looking for him, and you were keeping him hidden, as well as healing him. But you guys had this amazing love. Yes. Abundance. You had this amazing love. Like I see him like rubbing your feet. Like you guys fell madly in love. And he knew when he met you, he didn't have the same type of gifts that you had. But he knew that when he met you, that you were the divine, you were his divine partner. This was definitely not the first incarnation that you guys had together. Sorry, the camera. This was definitely not the first incarnation you guys had together. And you actually made a pact to always, you taught him how to be more spiritual, more nature, how to actually take care of himself, how to heal himself, how to respect the environment, how to respect Mother Nature. But you guys actually made a pact a pact together for because you started teaching him about the occult knowledge, things that weren't actually taught, things that were like the fact that we have past lives. And he listened to everything that you said, and he knew, he had an inner knowing that that what you were saying was true, that it wasn't like crazy or anything like that. And you guys made a pact to every lifetime to meet up with each other, because you had an understanding that even though this is your divine counterpart and this is your soulmate, your twin flame, there's still lifetimes in between that you chose not to meet up, or not to be together for the rest of your life, I should say. But every lifetime you guys get together. So if you haven't met this person and you're not in union right now with your divine counterpart, he's definitely coming, or she's coming. Because every time you guys, in every life that you've had together, you guys fall madly in love. And I feel like you've closed yourself off because you've been hurt. And yeah, sacred purpose. You guys are meant to be together this life. But I feel like you have this past life has affected you in a certain way, because you have this inner knowing that there's going to be this one love of your life that's going to be your everything, and it's because of this life. It's because of this incarnation and the incarnations before that. But this specific one, you guys made kind of looks like a blood pact. Like, you ever see, I see like blood, like you guys mixed your blood together. You did some type of ritual, and it's really deep. It's a real deep thing. Like, you guys knew that you were going to meet up in the upcoming lives, and you knew that wasn't your first incarnation either. Yeah, you guys had a very deep connection. You guys would finish each other's sentences. You didn't have to speak. Like, you guys both knew what each other was feeling. Like, the connection that you had was so deep. But I do have to say that in this incarnation, there's sadness. So the royal family actually found him. Yeah, they found him. And I see him being put in like a dungeon. So if you haven't met him, or you are in union, this person has a big issue with not wanting to be trapped. Feeling like the time is running out for them. And it's because this person in that lifetime, when he got caught, because what he was doing, he was very noble. When he left the royal army, he actually started stealing from the wealthy, kind of like a Robin Hood type thing. And he started giving back to the community. And that was a big reason why they were looking for him too, because they felt like he had betrayed them. And so you did a lot to keep him protected, to keep him out of sight, but somehow they found him and they locked him up. So this person, if you're in union with him, or if you're not in union, you'll know definitely, well, you'll know when you meet him, like, this is going to be the love of your life, or her, this is going to be the love of your life. But they're going to have a very clear issue with feeling trapped and feeling like they're running out of time. And it's because when he was found, they locked him up in a dungeon and left him there until he was executed. So trigger warning, I'm so sorry. I should have said that first. But in that lifetime, yeah, he was executed. And you stayed with a broken heart. You had this emptiness that, like, you really, like, it feels like you didn't love after that. Like that, oh, I feel that pain. It was very deep for you. So in this life, how it's affecting you, in relationships, you probably don't open up in fear of losing that person. And it's a deep subconscious fear because of what happened in that life. So you could be like, you fall in love quickly, and then it's like you run from it because you're scared of it's a deep fear that you have of, like, them leaving or abandoning you, because that's what happened in that life. They never came back. And I just see you constantly in the woods just crying and speaking to God and speaking to your angels and your goddesses, and, you know, asking them to bring him back. But it hurts you so bad. It's a very deep wound. And that's what's actually affecting you so much about this. Planting something new. Calming rivers. Self-regulation. So I feel like in this life, if you guys haven't found each other, you're going to. Because every lifetime you do. And it's a beautiful union. And if you are in union, more than likely he has or she has the or they, I don't know which one, but they have like a deep subconscious fear of being trapped, and like time is running out for them. So let's see. Let me see if we can get any other clarification. Let's get some. Let's see how this is. Yeah, it makes you feel like you can't open up your heart, or like you shouldn't open up your heart, because you have in your head, you have it that I'm in your subconscious that they're going to leave you. It's a deep seated fear. because of how heartbroken you were in that incarnation. And it feels like the moment that he was, again, trigger warning, executed, that it was like, because you were psychic, like you knew, and it like you felt it. So you knew that he went through pain before he passed away. So it took a big toll on you. But you guys had such a beautiful love, and it's like Spirit is showing me that every incarnation you guys just fall madly in love with each other. It's like you guys finish each other's sentences. You guys can get a little annoyed with each other, but it's not something that is like, oh, I cannot stand you, you know? It's, yeah, you guys have a very special love. So let's see. Let's see if we can get some advice from Spirit. Spirit. Okay. Needing direction. So if you guys are in union, I would say go ahead and open your heart, because it is safe for you to love. Right use of power. Yeah, you need to take out some time for yourself too, because it feels like maybe you've been in several relationships that like took a toll on you, and they misused their power, which left you feeling like you didn't know which direction to take. So Spirit wants you to take some time to replenish. You know, if you're single, just continue to work on self-love and your confidence, because you know, you have this beautiful confidence already about you, but I feel like it's a mask that you wear. And Spirit wants you to get out of your comfort zone too. Yeah, and start reclaiming those parts of you that you feel ashamed about. You feel are not perfect about you, because you're beautiful and perfect in your own way. You know, you weren't meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. And as cliche as that sounds, because everybody says it, it's true. See. So, let's see. Anything else, Spirit? Three of Pentacles. Yeah, because you're actually entering in this time where you're going to be able to manifest anything, but you know, you have to be able to open up your heart when you manifest, because it makes the manifestation come quicker, and it makes you more attractive. Like you're going to attract it, because what's waiting for you is wealth and abundance. And you're going to have abundance in every area. So for some of you, you'll know that you're in union with this person, because they see the goodness in everything. Like, I feel like you put yourself down, but this person lifts you up. And you're at this point, like, this is why Spirit wants you to let go some of, like, you really need to get some rest, because there's like a lot that you've been going through lately, whether it's through your job, your career. Spirit wants you to get some to take some time out for yourself, and re-energize yourself, and prepare for the goodness that's coming. Release, continue to work on your healing, and release those things that no longer serve you. Yeah, because what's coming is exactly the Wheel of Fortune. There's so much abundance that's coming. Abundance in love, abundance in all areas of your life. Okay, well, those are your messages. I hope that you received the messages that you needed to hear. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And don't forget to comment and let me know how this resonated. I appreciate all the love and support. But most importantly, remember, your body's a temple, so cherish it. Your spirit is perfection, so embrace it. Your soul is limitless, so free it. And always, but always, stay true to you. Take care, guys. Hi, my pal, too. Okay, so you guys chose the hourglass. So, let's see. So I instantly see a man in a suit, in a very expensive suit, tailored to him. It's a gray suit, and I see skyscrapers. Fighting. Stress. So it seems like you it feels like you were some type of businessman, CEO, because I see you being at like the top of the building, like looking down, and you can see all these other buildings. But you had to fight to get to that place. And you had a vision that you were, you had a vision for your life, because it feels like you didn't grow up with money. So you had to work very hard to get anything in life. So money was the theme around your whole life. I see you married with children, but there's constant fighting. And I see you arguing with your wife, and she's very upset with you because you're not there with the children, or spending time with them. You had an issue with control because you never felt like you had any control. You were, you weren't a complete butthole. You were just very focused. You knew exactly what you wanted, and you felt like you had to control everything. But this took a toll on your marriage. It took a toll because the only thing that she wanted was you. She just wanted you. And it was hard for you to balance. You just knew how to push forward, how to get to the next. You were very goal oriented, and you constantly made sure that you obtained and passed your goals. But it became the only thing that you worried about. Which left you in so much. There was a lot of guilt that you had, but it really hurt your wife. And no matter what you bought her, because your thing was, unfortunately, you know, you knew how to show your love through money, through you know, through affection, but there wasn't enough time for you and your family, and it weighed heavy on you. It caused you a lot of heartache. You were traveling all the time for work, but it was like you were by yourself. When you weren't, you did a lot of escapism through work. So you be careful in this incarnation, because that could be what you do. You use escape. You do a lot of escapism, whether it's through work or through TV, or getting lost in a project, or helping people, to the point where you put everyone in front of you just so you don't have to deal with your problems. So be very careful and very aware of that. Experiencing. But yeah, you did have a lot of courage. And your wealth wasn't just your wealth. Like, you were definitely a humanitarian, a philanthropist. I see you being at several different banquets, holding checks up. So you were all around a good-hearted person, but you were so consumed with work. It took a toll on you and your family. And eventually, she did leave. And it left you with so much sorrow, because no matter what you did after that, you couldn't get her back. And your kids got older. You just got really, and after that, it was like you drowned yourself in even more work. I'm hearing tycoon. So, oil tycoon? Wow. Yeah, so you were doing, like, you didn't have, like, little money. You had, like, money. Wow. But there was an emptiness in you. And you dreamt of having your family back, but it never came. You dreamt of harmony. Again, traveling. You did a lot of traveling. Yeah. And because of this, it left you lonely. Conditioning. Yeah, you learned how to be on your own, be by yourself. And that, when you lost your family, it was like by the time you got to the end of your life, the whole time you were accumulating the wealth, you know, surpassing your goals, you told yourself that this was all for a reason, and you were doing it for your family. And by the time that you got to the end of your life, you realized that it wasn't worth it. That all the money in the world, because you had a lot of it, it didn't mean anything, because what you were working for was for your family, and you had been suppressing so much of your feelings, because of losing your family, because your kids, it looks like you had a boy and a girl, but they weren't interested in talking to you because you never had time for them. And it really, you held on to this guilt. And the reason that you were able to get by it was because you constantly told yourself that, you know, you were doing this for your family. You know, the success was not only yours, it was theirs. But you had like money, like I see like limos. I see yeah. You were definitely a CEO. Like I said, an oil tycoon. That's what I heard. And you were constantly looking for guidance. You weren't spiritual in that life either. You, like you did like your prayers, you know, like the common prayers, like thank you. Like it wasn't like you were like, you didn't believe at all in anything. You did believe in God. But you were constantly looking for how to fill in that void that you felt. And you try to fill it in with money. And by the time you got to the end of your life, like I'm seeing you at a hospital, on your, you know, in a hospital bed, but I don't see anybody next to you. I see you by yourself. And it's like you're telling yourself, like, I wish I would have done things different. So the way that this could be playing out in your life now, you could be working yourself and escaping through work. You know, be very aware of that, because you were so focused on the future in that life that by the time you got to the end of it, like you never got to enjoy, you were never present. So your guides in this life, they really want you to focus on being present in the now. Spend time with your family. Make sure that if you own your own business, if that's the route that you've chose, or even if you don't own your own business but you're always working, make sure that you have time for you and your family, because your guides are saying that they don't want you to repeat this karmic pattern in this life. You're meant to break that pattern. You're not supposed to repeat it. You're meant to break it. Like, you came into this life to break that pattern, and it feels like this has been a very karmic, oh sorry, this has been a very karmic pattern that you've had. Like, in this is something that you've been trying to break for several incarnations. It feels like you love the theme of the underdog. So you're like a fighter in spirit. I mean, yeah, in your spirit, you're like a fighter, and you probably thrive under stress. Like, if you know something's due, let's say tomorrow, then you kind of wait till the night before to get it done. Yeah, and it's because this is a karmic pattern that you've had in your lifetimes. And spirit wants you to actually be moment to moment, like live in the present, because you don't want to repeat this, and then, you know, at the end of your life this time, it's like, oh God, really? And then you're back to being, yeah, you don't want to be the outsider of your family like you were in this life, in this past incarnation. So let's see. Spirit, can we have some suggestions for pile 2? Limitless possibility. So I feel like Spirit is saying to whatever stories that you're telling yourself, whether it's like, I don't have time, I need to get this done. Like, Spirit is saying the possibilities are limitless. Like, time is not real anyways, you know. Yeah, look that up if you don't know. But yeah, you're going through a change right now. Let's see. New beginnings. Oh, wow. So yeah, you're actually going through a change right now. So be open to it, because the possibilities, there's limitless possibilities. Yes. Grace and generosity. Like, you have so much coming. So, you know, take care of yourself, nurture yourself. You don't have to be constantly working, because I feel like you guys like thrive when you're constantly working. At least you think you thrive, but then you end up burning out. And Spirit wants you to move past this pattern. And there's so many blessings that are coming your way because you're breaking this karmic pattern, this karmic cycle. So you have so many beautiful things coming. Let's see. Any final? Yeah. And I feel like with this, it's not meant to be, you know, dive into your project even deeper. It's more so, I feel like when I see this card, I feel like it's like surrender. Like, I'm focused on how she just looks like so free. So I think you really need to just just take it easy on yourself. You know, accept yourself and all your glory. And, you know, keep moving forward. But give yourself time to rest. Give yourself time to replenish yourself, replenish your energy, because you're like ending a cycle, like you're coming out of a cycle right now. So this next cycle is going to be beautiful, but you're going to need energy for it. Spirit has some beautiful things lined up for you. So I'm being called to pull one of these. Let's see. Yemaya, Mother Goddess of the Sea, as you are made of mostly water, learning to contain your emotion is the key to thriving, not just surviving. In the deep end of relationship, become the great mother of your experience. Take 100% responsibility for your feelings, whether high or low, turbulent or calm. And the glow of your flow will lead you to treasures beyond measure. So, final messages from Spirit. My healing is already in process. Yes. My willingness to forgive begins my healing process. I allow the love from my own heart to wash through me, cleansing and healing every part of my body. I know I'm worth healing. And one more, Spirit. I can release the past and forgive everyone. I forgive myself and everyone in my life from old past hurts. They are free, and I am free to move into new glorious experiences. Okay, well, pile 2, those are your messages. I hope you received the messages you needed to hear. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And don't forget to comment. Let me know how this resonated. And I appreciate all your love and support. But most importantly, remember, your body's a temple, so cherish it. Your spirit's perfection, so embrace it. Your soul is limitless, so free it. And always, but always, stay true to you. Take care. Hey, my pile 3. So you guys chose the Tree of Life, Tree of Wisdom. This is our happy place. So, instantly, when I picked that up, I saw a woman, and she looked like a... This is trifling, sorry. Okay. She looked like a warrior. So, let's get into this. This is interesting. So I do see you. I can't tell what period of time this is in, but you were definitely, you give me like Xena, I think that's her name. Xena's the princess warrior. Yeah, exactly. You were definitely a fighter, but you were a leader. So let's see. So it was like you were leading like a revolution. And it was definitely different, because you led these, I want to say kind of like armies, against the government, the powers that be, you know, that you, I can't tell where this is at the time though. I heard Iceland. Okay. But you were very well respected for you to be a woman at that time. Past lives. You were well respected. I feel like they knew that you were meant to be leaders, or a leader. It was like they knew that you So maybe this was a revolution, like I don't know why, but I'm getting like I'm definitely getting like priestess vibes, high priestess vibes. And it was like because they knew that you were a high priestess, your spirituality, their spirituality, like I just see so many men behind you, and it wasn't like, oh, she's a woman, even though it was like in the past at that time, you know, women weren't respected as well as they would be now as a leader. And you definitely were, and it was because you were a high priestess, and they recognized that about you, and you had a fighting spirit. And a lot of the people that were supporting you, they knew that they had been in a past life with you, because the people that were with you in this army were a lot of your soul family. Like you guys incarnated at that time together, for that specific reason, for that revolution. They didn't even look at you. They praised you, is what I'm seeing. They praised you, and they showed you so much love, and so much respect. Because you were, you know, you were the healer, you were the psychic, you were the fighter. Like you had all these different facets of yourself, and they all knew that you were an ancient soul. So you guys are like my old ancient soul, like, yeah, pile. Respect. Definitely. I am so honored to be doing this reading, I have to say. Not that I'm not honored with the other, but you know. Yeah, I feel like you were the missing piece of their puzzle. And when they found you, they knew to make you a leader, and to and they knew that they could follow through with their plan because you were the missing piece of the puzzle. Because you had everything. Yeah, master, look. Yep. They praised you because they knew that, you know, you were a high priestess. They understood that. Yeah, you brought a lot of abundance into their life. I see like you showing them how to hunt. Like you were a jack of all trades. It feels like from a young age in that incarnation, you had to learn how to take care of yourself. You had to learn how to provide for yourself. So I feel like that's the same thing that's happening in this life, like very similar, that you have this leadership quality. Even when you don't try to be a leader, it's like people know that you should be a leader. Or like accidentally they put you, like if you're in a group or something, it's like you always end up having to be the one to be the leader. um and sometimes it feels like you can get very frustrated with that. Sometimes it feels like you just want it to, like, just leave me back here, like I don't want to do it all the time, but you thrive being a leader because that's where you're most comfortable at, whether you want to admit that out loud or not. Yeah, you were the rebel. Definitely. You questioned everything in this life. In that life, you questioned everything. And you knew that there were better ways to do things. And you constantly empowered people. Yeah, you knew when to go with the flow because you were a high priestess. But you also knew when you needed to fight. When you needed to rebel. Because you were a high priestess, you knew through your intuition, through your psychic gifts, you knew when to be a fighter, when to be a rebel, and when to go with the flow. And I feel like this life actually is benefiting this life. Because this life, it taught you a lot of adventure. It taught you so much balance. And I feel like, yeah, it taught you how to compromise. But it also taught you how to fight for what was right. And not be, and yeah, to listen to your inner voice. Because I feel like at that time, the reason that you were, you know, the leader, not only because you were a high priestess, but it was like everyone else was kind of scared to fight. So you built this army, but you also built people. So in this life, you probably are like a very good motivational speaker, so to say. Like you probably inspire people. You're more than likely like the type that, like, when someone's feeling down, when you speak to them, it's like you breathe life into them. Wow. Yeah, it's like you breathe life into people. And that's how this life is affecting that's how this past life is affecting this life. It's actually, this is very interesting, because normally what comes up is like, your karmic patterns, but I feel like this life is actually affecting this life for good, for the good. Like you have a lot of good karma coming back to you because of this life. Yeah. And I feel like you guys are going to have this breakthrough. I feel like maybe you haven't realized this about yourself. Maybe you still doubt whether you are a high priestess, or whether you do have the gifts. But I feel like it's because it feels like a lot of you guys that chose this pile are in the void. And so if you don't know what the void is, go ahead and Google spiritual void. Because it does feel like you guys went through like a big, deep spiritual awakening. And I feel like this life was very similar to what you're going through right now. You went through your spiritual awakening then, and you really stepped up. Okay, so I'm being called to pull from my star seeds. So you guys are definitely star seeds. Yeah, because I am being called to this deck. So let's see. Yeah, because you guys are actually on like the brink of a huge breakthrough. Like you're still trying to figure out yourself and figure out who you are. Share your song. Whale and Orca Elders. Share your song. Frequency of sound. Diving deep. So yeah, I feel like Spirit really wants you to dive deep. Go inward. Because there's a lot of, soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. Yeah, I knew it. You guys are being called right now to step up and become the same type of leader that you were in this life. So understand that if you are doubting yourself, it's only because you're going through this void. But Spirit really wants you to come out and step up. You're being called to do it, because there's so many of us that are going through a spiritual awakening. There's a mass spiritual awakening happening right now. And you're being called. Don't be afraid of your gifts, because this is not your first life of you using your gifts. Like I said, this life came through, and that's how it's affecting you this life. So understand that you've already done this in your previous lives. Yeah, you need to spend some time in nature. That's going to help you out a lot. But you have so many gifts that are coming out. And I feel like you don't know. Either you don't know like what they are. Like when I say that, I mean like I feel like you guys have been feeling things, but you haven't actually tried to start practicing. And if you are practicing some of your gifts, whether it's like doing readings on other people, doing healing work on other people, or trying to heal yourself, I feel like you guys haven't fully embraced it or fully gotten you're not fully confident in it. But understand that your soul knows this. This is not your first time using this. These gifts have been with you so many lifetimes. And yeah, follow your intuition. You're being called to action. So whatever you're being called to do at this moment, because I feel like Spirit is saying that you are supposed to be seen and stop hiding in the shadows. Because I feel like in this life, you're actually comfortable not being out in front of people. For some of you, I feel like if you may think that you're more comfortable not being in the spotlight, but it's because you have a subconscious fear, or not subconscious. Yeah, well, I guess. Yeah, you have some fear on, you not being good enough. So I think that you should do some work with some rose quartz. And maybe do some affirmations on self-love. Listen to self-love affirmations while you sleep. Leave it like low in the background, so that your subconscious can feed it, because you're actually like in the middle of reprogramming your subconscious. Yeah, and Spirit wants you to express yourself. And your higher self really wants you to express yourself. Yeah. Say yes to change. Jump in. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, let's see if we can get some more suggestions and advice from Spirit for you. You guys need to look up Lemuria. Stillness. And it was in reverse, which is separate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your higher self wants to come into communion with you. So if I feel like you've done a lot of healing work, just continue to work on that. Continue to work on your self-confidence. Make sure that you are spending time in nature, doing your meditations, if you can, in nature, grounding yourself. Because that's going to help you so that you don't feel all airy and all over the place. But yeah, Spirit wants you to come out of hiding, because you're meant to be a leader. You're meant to lead people. You're meant to be a teacher. You're meant to master your emotions in this life. So if you had issues with your emotions and sometimes you feel like you're too emotional, those things are coming up to not only be healed, but for you to master your emotions, for you to be actually able to step in, to sit on your throne. Wow, that's what Spirit is showing me. Like, it's time for you to sit on your throne. Wow, this was a beautiful reading. So those are your messages. I hope you received the messages you needed to hear. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Don't forget to comment and let me know how this resonated with you. And I appreciate all the love and support. And, you know, I feel so honored. But most importantly, remember, your body's a temple, so cherish it. Your spirit's perfection, so embrace it. Your soul is limitless, so free it. And always, but always, stay true to you. Take care.